November 1957. Police enter a farmhouse in Wisconsin. What they find will inspire Psycho, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Silence of the Lambs. A woman's headless body hangs from the ceiling, gutted like a deer. They search the rest of the house. Bowls made from human skulls, lampshades made from skin, a belt made from nipples, furniture covered in human leather, masks made from real faces. The man who lives here is Ed Gein. He's not a serial killer. He only murdered 2 people. But what he did to the dead is so much worse. Ed Gein grew up on a farm outside Plainfield, Wisconsin. Population 600. His mother, Augusta, ruled the house with an iron fist. Religious fanatic, abusive, cruel. She told Ed that all women were evil, that sex was sinful, that the world was wicked. Ed's father was an alcoholic. Augusta destroyed him, broke him down daily. Ed watched his father become nothing. When Ed's brother died in a suspicious fire, it was just Ed and his mother, alone together, forever. Exactly how she wanted it. When Augusta had a stroke, Ed took care of her, bathed her, fed her, worshipped her. When she died in 1945, Ed's world ended. He sealed off her bedroom, left everything exactly as it was, her clothes in the closet, her bed made, like she just stepped out. But it wasn't enough. Ed needed her back. So he found a way. Ed started going to the cemetery at night. He'd check the obituaries for fresh burials. Women who looked like his mother. Middle-aged, heavy-set. He'd wait until dark. Then he'd dig. Between 1947 and 1952, Ed robbed 40 graves. He'd take the bodies home, to his shed, and he'd skin them. He taught himself taxidermy, tanning, leatherwork. He got good at it. He created a suit made entirely of human skin. He could wear it and become a woman, become his mother. He'd put on the skin suit and dance around his house at night, alone in the dark, pretending. He made lampshades from faces, bowls from skulls. He upholstered chairs with human leather. He kept body parts in the refrigerator, heads in paper bags. His house became a museum of death. And Ed was the only visitor. But grave robbing has limits. The bodies were old, decomposed. Ed wanted something fresh. So on December 1st, 1954, he walked into Mary Hogan's tavern. Mary ran a bar 6 miles from Plainfield. When a customer arrived that evening, the bar was empty. Blood on the floor. A drag mark to the back door. A spent shell casing. Mary Hogan was gone. Police investigated. The trail went cold. 3 years passed. November 16th, 1957. Opening day of hunting season. Most men in Plainfield are in the woods. Bernice Warden runs the hardware store. She's there alone. Her son Frank stops by that evening. The store is locked. The lights are off. His mother never closes early. He goes inside. The cash register is missing. Blood on the floor. A trail leading out back. His mother is gone. Frank Warden is a deputy sheriff. He knows this is bad. He checks his mother's sales ledger. The last entry. Antifreeze. Customer name. Ed Gein. Sheriff Art Schley drives to Ed's farm that night. The house is dark. No answer. They search the property. The barn. The shed. Then they reach the summer kitchen. They open the door. Shine their light inside. Bernice Warden hangs from the ceiling. Headless. Gutted. They call for backup. When more officers arrive, they search the main house. 4 noses and a cup. Skulls as bowls. A shoebox full of female genitalia preserved in salt. Faces mounted on the walls like hunting trophies. A vest made from a woman's torso. Breasts still attached. Chairs upholstered in human skin. Mary Hogan's face. Peeled off and made into a mask. Bernice Worden's heart. In a saucepan on the stove. The officers run outside and vomit. One veteran who fought in World War II says nothing in the war prepared him for this. Ed Gein is arrested that night at a neighbor's house. He's calm, polite. He confesses immediately. He admits to killing Mary Hogan and Bernice Worden. Only 2 murders. He admits to robbing 40 graves. He describes how he'd select the bodies, how he'd prepare the skin, how he'd wear the suit of human flesh. When asked why, Ed gives a chilling answer. I wanted to see what it was like. To be a woman. To be my mother. Psychiatrists evaluate him. They find a man completely dominated by his dead mother. A man who never developed normally. A man who turned his confusion into something horrific. Ed Gein is declared mentally unfit to stand trial. He's committed to a mental institution. He spends the rest of his life there. He never shows remorse. He dies in 1984 at age 77. But Ed Gein's crimes didn't die with him. Alfred Hitchcock was developing Psycho when he read about Ed Norman Bates was born. A man dominated by his dead mother, living in her preserved room. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre took Ed's skin masks and furniture made from bodies. Leatherface is Ed Gein. Silence of the Lambs gave us Buffalo Bill, a killer who skins women to make a suit. That's Ed Gein. Ed only killed 2 people. But his impact on horror is permanent. He proves something terrifying. The worst monsters don't hide in shadows. They live in quiet farmhouses. They do odd jobs around town. They babysit your children. Ed Gein was the handyman everyone trusted. The quiet neighbor people felt sorry for. And inside his house was a nightmare beyond imagination. The farmhouse became a tourist attraction. People drove from across the country. In 1958, it was put up for auction. Before anyone could buy it, the house burned down. Arson suspected. No one charged. Many believe the townspeople burned it themselves. They wanted to erase the memory. The site is now an empty field. Overgrown. Unmarked. Ed Gein is buried in Plainfield Cemetery. The same cemetery where he robbed graves. His headstone has been stolen multiple times. Souvenir hunters. The people who trusted him spent the rest of their lives asking how. How did we not see it? How did we not know? The answer is simple. Ed Gein looked normal. He acted normal. He was the definition of normal. And that's what makes him so terrifying. Because evil doesn't always look like a monster. Sometimes it looks like your neighbor. Ed Gein proved that the greatest horrors are real. That human beings are capable of unimaginable things. That the scariest stories aren't fiction. Every time you watch Psycho, every time you see Leatherface, every time Buffalo Bill appears on screen, remember, those characters were inspired by a real man, who lived in a real house, who murdered real people. Ed Gein was real, and he's the reason we're still afraid.